Yes, so last lecture में हमने already when the two bodies collide with each other elastically. So in case of that head-on elastic one-dimensional collision, we have already derived the formula for finding the final velocities after the collision. Okay, and we already got these two equations. You can just see. यहाँ पे हमने ये दो इक्वेशंस डिराइव किए थे. v1 के लिए ये वाला फॉर्मूला हमने डिराइव किया था. Just let us summarize them in the big screen. Okay, so consider the bodies. Suppose this is the body of mass m1 and there is another body, suppose of mass m2, and both of them are moving with the speeds u1 and u2 before the collision. Okay, so in speed se wo move kar rahe. So what are their speeds after the collision can be found out by using the special formula we have just derived last time, which are given by v1 is equal to the first body moves with the velocity which is given by v1 is equal to m1 minus m2 upon m1 plus m2 into u1 plus here it is 2m1 upon m1 plus m2 into u2. Okay, and at the same time the second body actually moves with the velocity which is given by here it is 2m2 here, and here it will be 2m1. So 2m1 upon m1 plus m2 into u1 and minus, and it will be m1 minus m2 once again, and that is divided by m1 plus m2 kept as it is into u2, or we can just make this as plus sign if you want and convert this as m2 minus m1, no doubt. So इसको m2 minus m1 लिखना है तो भी चलेगा, तो बीच में प्लस साइन ही रहेगा दोनों तरफ. सिर्फ तुमको ये याद रखना पड़ेगा कि ये जो v2 का जो फॉर्मूला है तो वो m2 minus m1 उसके अंदर है, जबकि v1 के फॉर्मूला में m1 minus m2 है. ठीक है, but these are the two formulae which are in case of elastic collision only. Remember, whenever there is an elastic collision, then internally we can just use this formula here. But if suppose there is inelastic collision on the other hand, okay, अगर inelastic collision है तो उस केस में क्या फॉर्मूले होंगे? नो डाउट आपको वो इस सिलेबस में उनका प्रूफ तो नहीं है, but you can just derive it in the same way as we have derived them in case of this elastic collision here. तो जैसे इलास्टिक कोलिजन के अंदर हमने इक्वेशंस को सॉल्व करके ये दो फॉर्मूले डिराइव किए थे, तो सेम वैसे ही इनलास्टिक कोलिजन के दौरान भी वैसे ही फॉर्मूले हमको मिल जाते हैं. v1 के लिए अलग से फॉर्मूला मिलेगा और एट द सेम टाइम v2 के लिए भी सेपरेट फॉर्मूला हमको मिल जाएगा. But we already know that in case of an inelastic collision, there is a separate concept called as a coefficient of restitution, because there is no law of conservation of kinetic energy hold true in that case. क्योंकि वहां पे लॉ ऑफ कंजर्वेशन ऑफ काइनेटिक एनर्जी होता ही नहीं इनइलास्टिक कोलिजन के अंदर. इलास्टिक कोलिजन के अंदर होता है लॉ ऑफ कंजर्वेशन ऑफ मोमेंटम as well as law of conservation of kinetic energy holds true. But in case of inelastic collision especially, the kinetic energy is never conserved, it's always lost, and in that case the coefficient of restitution can be obtained to be simply equal to the final velocities of relative velocity after collision, that is v2 minus v1. We can call it as the velocity of recession or velocity of separation, which is to be divided by the velocity of approach, which is going to be u1 minus u2. Remember, so this will be the formula for finding the coefficient of restitution E here. And if we just use it here and just try to find out the V1 and V2 in case of inelastic collision, then it comes out to be like this, something in this way. So here it will be in the first bracket. देखो ये जो फॉर्मूले हमको मिले हैं सेम वैसे ही हमको फॉर्मूले मिलने वाले हैं, वही दो टर्म्स यहाँ पे मिलेंगे, सिर्फ थोड़ा फर्क होगा. देखो ठीक से यहाँ पे हमको मिलेगा m1 minus em2, remember, upon m1 plus m2 kept as it is, that is to be multiplied with u1, which is already there, plus here this 2 can be written to be simply 1 plus 1, but this 1 can be replaced by e, and we can just get that the formula will be m2 into 1 plus e, and that is to be divided by m1 plus m2 kept as it is, and that is to be multiplied with u2, which is already there. Okay, so this is the formula for finding the velocity of the first body after collision. And in the same way here, the second formula for v2 can also be constructed in the same way. Here जहाँ पे भी 2 आता है तो इस 2 को हमको 1 plus e से replace करना है, so that we can just get that first term replaced by m1 into 1 plus e, and that is to be divided by m1 plus m2 kept as it is into u1 plus here it is to be replaced. ये जो सेकंड टर्म होता है उसके साथ e चिपक जाता है बस, तो इसलिए यहाँ पे आ जाएगा m2 minus e times of m1, and that is to be divided by m1 plus m2, and that is multiplied with u2. That's it. So these are the two separate formulae which are for inelastic collision specially, and these are the formulae for elastic collision in this way. So we have to just remember this formulae orally. ये formulae हमको अच्छी तरह से याद रखने हैं, इनके ऊपर न्यूमेरिकल्स पूछ सकते हैं, और ये भी फॉर्मूले अच्छी तरह से याद रखने हैं. इनका तो डेरिवेशन ही हमको ऑलरेडी है, हमने ऑलरेडी किया था लास्ट लेक्चर में, but this is not to be proved but should be remembered as it is. Okay, चलो ठीक है. So let us move to the next topic, this chapter, that is about the loss in kinetic energy in case of an perfectly inelastic collision. Remember, loss in kinetic energy in case of perfectly inelastic collision. Okay, perfectly inelastic collision के अंदर कितना kinetic energy loss होता है, तो वो हमको यहाँ पे ढूंढ के निकालना है. We have to find out the expression for loss in kinetic energy. Okay, so let us consider once again the two bodies, one of which is of mass m1, suppose this is the first body of mass m1 which is going to be moving in this direction with the velocity u1. Okay, and another body is of mass m2 here it is, which is again moving in the same direction, suppose with the speed u2. Okay, u2 speed से वो move करने वाला है. ठीक है, अभी कुछ देर के बाद हम देख सकते हैं कि they will just collide with each other, and after collision both of these bodies will just stick together. Suppose this is the collision takes place here, and after the collision both of these bodies just stick together. ये सेकेंड बॉडी है और ये फर्स्ट बॉडी जो है, ये दोनों बॉडीज एक दूसरे के साथ चिपक गए, and these two bodies combined together start moving with the common velocity, we can call it as v after collision. Okay, this is the velocity after collision which is common to both of the bodies here. मतलब ये दोनों जो बॉडीज है वो सेम वेलोसिटी के साथ मूव करने लग गए. ठीक है, सो अकॉर्डिंग यूजिंग द लॉ ऑफ कंजर्वेशन ऑफ मोमेंटम वी कैन जस्ट से अगर लॉ ऑफ कंजर्वेशन ऑफ मोमेंटम यूज करते हैं तो हमको क्या मिलेगा, देखो, दिस फर्स्ट बॉडी इज ऑफ मास m1, द सेकंड बॉडी इज ऑफ मास m2, and hence the total initial momentum must be equal to the total final momentum, so that we can just say that is m1 u1 plus m2 u2. This is going to be the total initial momentum, which has to be equal to the total final momentum. Now see, what is the total final momentum? After collision, both of these bodies just stick together and they become a single body whose mass is going to be m1 plus m2. Simply, this is just a single body of mass m1 plus m2, which is moving with the velocity v. So what must be the final momentum after the collision? We can just say it will be m1 plus m2 into v. That's it. So from this equation, if we just transfer m1 plus m2 in the denominator here, then we can be able to get this v here, which is going to be m1 u1 plus m2 u2 upon m1 plus m2, correct? So this is the formula for v, which you can give it as equation number 1. इसको हम equation number 1 देके रख देंगे. Now, if you want to find out the loss in kinetic energy, what is the formula for loss in the kinetic energy? How to find the loss? Loss निकालने के लिए जो initially पहले जो kinetic energy in bodies के अंदर था, जो कि कोलिजन से पहले जब वो u1 और u2 इतने वेलोसिटीज के साथ मूव कर रहे थे, उस समय का जो उनका काइनेटिक एनर्जी था उसको हम बोल देंगे, सपोज इट इज डिनोटेड बाय ki, चलेगा, उसको हम ki बोल सकते हैं. ki means the initial kinetic energy. Okay, and when these bodies are stick together and just moving after the collision here, तो कोलिजन के बाद जब वो मूव करते हैं तो उस समय उनका जो काइनेटिक एनर्जी बनता है उसको हम kf से डिनोट कर सकते हैं. kf stands for the final kinetic energy, or we can just call it as the kinetic energy after collision. Okay, so this is the kinetic energy after collision, kf. So obviously ki is going to be greater than kf, तभी तो हम उसको बोलेंगे ना लॉस हो गया. तो लॉस हो गया मतलब क्या कि इनिशियल काइनेटिक एनर्जी ज्यादा था जो कि फाइनल जाके घट गया, कम हो गया. तो इसलिए अगर वो कम हो गया तो इसका मतलब लॉस कैसे निकालेंगे? Initial minus final will be actually the loss. Yes, so loss in kinetic energy can be found out to be simply equal to ki minus kf, no doubt. And if we just replace these values here, ki के बदले क्या रखना है हमको? Initial kinetic energy, which is composed of two terms. The first body has its kinetic energy, which is given by half m1 u1 squared, correct है? So we can just have this as half of m1 into u1 square. This is the kinetic energy of first body before the collision. Plus, what is the kinetic energy of the second body? We can just say its mass is m2 and its velocity is u2. So we can just have this as half of m2 u2 square. This becomes the initial kinetic energy of the second body. Okay, and this has to be subtracted. इसमें से subtract करना है हमको kf. What is kf now? What is the final body? Its mass is m1 plus m2 and it is moving with velocity v here. So we can just say that the kinetic energy of that combined system will be given by half of mass, that is m1 plus m2, into velocity squared, which is v squared here, no doubt. So we have to just simplify this further now. So अगर हम इसको सिंप्लीफाई करने के लिए ट्राई करते हैं तो देखो क्या होगा आगे. तो उसमें हमको मिलेगा ये जो फर्स्ट टू टर्म्स जो है वो तो वैसे ही रहेंगे आराम से, हाफ m1 u1 स्क्वायर प्लस हाफ m2 u2 स्क्वायर minus half of, what is this, m1 plus m2 into v square. Already we have found out the formula for v here. We have to replace it back. m1 plus m2 is kept as it is, and here we have to replace the formula for v and square it here. V is obtained here in the equation number 1, which is going to be m1 u1 plus m2 u2 upon m1 plus m2, right? So we have to replace it here. So you can just have it as m1 u1 plus m2 u2, or just if you have some problem to find or see, उसको थोड़ा दूर हम रख देंगे. तो देखो यहाँ पे, so here it is going to be m1 u1 plus m2 u2, that is to be divided by m1 plus m2, no doubt. ओके, और उसका भी स्क्वायर करना है हमको. तो इसका स्क्वायर करने का मतलब है न्यूमरेटर का और डिनोमिनेटर का दोनों का स्क्वायर करना पड़ेगा जरूर. लेट अस टेक हाफ कॉमन सो दैट वी कैन हैव सम सिंप्लीफिकेशन हियर. तो अगर हाफ को बाहर ले लेंगे तो अंदर में क्या बचेगा देखो. सो दिस विल बी m1 u1 स्क्वायर प्लस m2 u2 स्क्वायर व्हिच इज kept as it is, minus here it is going to be m1 plus m2 kept as it is, and here it will be m1 u1 plus m2 u2 ब्रैकेट का स्क्वायर, और नीचे क्या बचेगा m1 plus m2 का होल स्क्वायर. करेक्ट है. so this is m1 plus m2 and this is the whole square, but out of that one factor m1 plus m2 and this one factor out of this square just get cancelled, you can understand, and then we can be able to get the next step here in this case. Okay, so half is already out, and in this bracket we have this term can be written to be upon 1. करेक्ट है. इसको नीचे 1 लिख सकते हैं आराम से, सो दैट एलसीएम लेने के लिए हमारा इजी हो जाएगा. तो यहाँ पे हम लिख देंगे द फर्स्ट टर्म कंटेन्स m1 u1 स्क्वायर प्लस m2 u2 स्क्वायर, that is to be divided by 1, and the second term actually minus, here it is the second term which is already there. अभी देखो ये m1 u1 प्लस m2 u2 का होल स्क्वायर दिख रहा है नहीं. तो जैसा कि हमको पता है ऑलरेडी a प्लस बी द होल स्क्वायर का फॉर्मूला क्या होता है, वो होता है a स्क्वायर प्लस 2ab प्लस b स्क्वायर, राइट. So according to this formula we can just expand this term and get the expanded as a स्क्वायर का मतलब हो गया m1 स्क्वायर u1 स्क्वायर, करेक्ट है, प्लस 2ab वाला टर्म जो है वो हमको यहाँ पे लिखना पड़ेगा 2 m1 u1 m2 u2, ये हो गया 2ab वाला टर्म, और फिर फाइनली b स्क्वायर वाला जो टर्म है वो भी हमको यहाँ पे ऐड करना पड़ेगा, जो कि m2 u2 का स्क्वायर, मतलब ही m2 का स्क्वायर और u2 का स्क्वायर, बिल्कुल. सो m2 स्क्वायर u2 स्क्वायर kept as it is, and just since this m1 plus m2 is only one left in the denominator, we have to just replace it as it is, m1 plus m2 kept as it is in the denominator here. Okay, and then we can just complete the bracket. Okay, now we can just be able to solve this further by cross multiplying here. So half is kept as it is, and this denominator, whole denominator will just contain m1 plus m2 only. So here it is m1 plus m2 kept as it is in the denominator, and if you just cross multiply this m1 plus m2 here the numerator, then it will just get multiplied with this whole term here. ये जो यहाँ पे factor है इसके साथ वो multiply होगा. So we can just rewrite it as it is and have this as m1 plus m2 into bracket m1 u1 square plus m2 u2 square, which is to be opened in the next step, and here it is minus of this whole term is just kept as it is, which is going to be m1 square u1 square plus 2, इसको हम shuffle करके ऐसा लिख सकते हैं 2 m1 m2 into u1 u2 plus m2 square u2 square. again kept as it is. And this whole thing is in the closed bracket, curly bracket. Okay, अभी m1 plus m2 जो है वो तो हमको मिल गया डिनोमिनेटर के अंदर, but we need to open this term with m1 as well as m2. ये चार terms हमको मिलेंगे. Each term has to be multiplied with each term, so that we can just get in the next step here. Yes, so we can just get the next step here, that is half of in bracket. This whole thing is to be divided by m1 plus m2 as it is. And here if we just open the bracket, then we can just get this m1 into m1 u1 square comes out to be m1 square u1 square, correct? Plus again this m1 gets multiplied with this m2 square, m2 u2 square, so that we get this m1 m2 into u2 square, correct? Plus the second term m2 is to be multiplied with m1 u1 square here, so as to get this third term, that is of m2 m1 into u1 square. Okay, and the last term can be obtained by multiplying this m2 with m2 u2 square, so that okay, so it will be m2 square u2 square. These are the four terms which are obtained by expanding this two brackets. Okay, now just multiply this minus sign inside. ये minus sign को अगर हम अंदर push कर देंगे तो every term will just become negative, and hence we will get it next step as minus of m1 square u1 square kept as it is, minus of 2 m1 m2 u1 u2, and here it will be minus of again m2 square u2 square, and then we can just close this bracket and just wait here that m1 square u1 square and this minus of m1 square u1 square will get cancelled. m2 square minus of m2 square u2 square, it is plus actually, plus m2 square u2 square, and this plus m2 minus m2 square u2 square will just get cancelled, and whatever are the terms left as it is, we can just copy them here. So delta K, that is loss in kinetic energy, can be obtained to be simply equal to half of in bracket. The whole thing is to be divided by m1 plus m2 as it is. And what is the first term left here is m1 m2 into u2 square, correct? So you can just write it as it is here. It is m1 m2 into u2 square plus this term is left as it is m1 m2 into u1 square also. So here we can just write it as m1 m2 into u1 square, and finally this term, it is negative one, which is minus 2 m1 m2 u1 u2, right? So here it is minus of 2 m1 m2 into u1 into u2 kept as it is. Okay, and then we can just take this m1 m2 common from each of the terms in the numerator. Check. So if you just take this m1 m2 common from this here, then we can get this half into m1 m2 out, and what we are left inside, or just keep it as it is, ऊपर में रख देंगे इसको भी. Still we can have the bracket, and here m1 m2 will be taken out, and what we are left inside will be u2 square plus u1 square minus 2 u1 u2. and then that is divided by m1 plus m2 as it is. Okay, इसको अगर हम suppose simplify करेंगे तो delta k can be actually written as, okay, so delta k can be written to be equal to half of this m1 plus m2 upon m1 plus m2 can be combined together here, and we can write it as m1 m2 upon m1 plus m2 kept as it is, and here in the bracket we can just have this u1 square minus 2 u1 u2 plus u2 square, which is again the formula for a minus b the whole square, if you remember. So we can just be able to get the expression for the kinetic energy, loss in kinetic energy, to be simply equal to half of m1 m2 upon m1 plus m2 into, here in the bracket it becomes u1 minus u2 and its whole square. Okay, so this is actually going to be the formula for finding the kinetic energy, loss in kinetic energy in the case of inelastic, perfectly inelastic collision, remember. And as we already know that this m1 m2 upon m1 plus m2 can be replaced by mu, that is called as reduced mass. See here again, the reduced mass again appears naturally in this formula. Okay, so if you just reduce it, if you just substitute it by mu, then we can be able to get this delta k, that is a loss in kinetic energy, to be simply equal to half of mu into ये जो u1 minus u2 जो है उसको हम क्या बोल सकते हैं, relative velocity before collision, or we can just call it as a velocity of approach, and we can just say that it will be u relative. Okay, u relative और उसका square. So this formula seems to be very similar to half mv square only, and you have to remember this formula correctly. This is half of mu into u relative का square. u relative का मतलब क्या है, देखो यहाँ पे हम लिख देंगे mu is going to be m1 m2 upon m1 plus m2. It is just replacement of that. And at the same time, this u relative is a replacement of u1 minus u2 actually. Okay, तो ये u1 minus u2 को ही हमने u relative बोल के रखा है. And finally, one more thing here to be considered, that we have that this is the inelastic collision. देखो ये फॉर्मूला जो है वो हम चाहिए तो न्यू पेज पे एज इट इज कॉपी करेंगे. एक मिनट. Okay, so this is the formula. We can just see the change in kinetic energy here can be obtained to be actually equal to 1 by 2 into mu into u1 minus u2, मतलब ये u relative और उसका square, correct है. This is only for perfectly inelastic collision. Okay, ये perfectly inelastic collision के बारे में ही ऐसा होता है, and this is actually the maximum value of kinetic loss in kinetic energy. Okay, ये maximum kinetic energy loss होता है जो कि perfectly inelastic collision के अंदर ही हुआ करता है. But suppose if we have simply general inelastic collision, or we can call it as a partially inelastic collision, so in that case we can just have this formula modified as delta k is equal to half of mu into u relative का square kept as it is, and this has to be just multiplied by 1 minus e square simply. तो ये 1 minus e square से multiply हो जाता है in case of an elastic collision, because in case of elastic collision we already have seen that the coefficient of restitution plays a very important role, and which is defined as the relative velocity of collision after collision upon the relative velocity before collision with the proper signs. Okay, so this is the formula for expression for the coefficient of restitution, and this E can be used here effectively. So this formula can be expressed in terms of E for the inelastic collision in general, but for perfectly inelastic collision only, E becomes 0, and we can just have this E0 and hence obtain this formula as a result. And obviously, in case of an elastic collision, E is going to be 1. So if we put E equal to 1 here, then this 1 minus 1 becomes 0, and delta K becomes equal to 0. That means there is no loss in kinetic energy in case of an perfectly elastic collision. Okay, elastic collision के अंदर तो कोई kinetic energy के अंदर loss होता ही नहीं है, तो इसलिए वहां पे डेल्टा के का वैल्यू क्या आएगा, 0 आ जाएगा in case of elastic collision. But in case of an partially inelastic collision, we can just find the loss in kinetic energy by using this formula, which includes this 1 upon 1 minus e square extra. And in case of an perfectly inelastic collision, we can just find out this delta K by using this formula. Here in all this formulae, remember that this reduced mass mu is going to be actually m1 m2 upon m1 plus m2. ये रिड्यूस मास का कंसेप्ट यूज करने से क्या होता है कि ये जो बड़ा वाला फॉर्मूला है वो थोड़ा छोटा दिखता है, ठीक है ना, तो लर्न करने के लिए इजी हो जाता है। बट नहीं तो फिर क्या है कि बहुत बड़ा बड़ा फॉर्मूला आपको लर्न करना पड़ेगा, उससे अच्छा है कि ये हाफ म्यू यू रिलेटिव का स्क्वायर, इतना सिंपल है लर्न करने के लिए। बट इट इज वेरी सिंपल बिकॉज वी हैव रिप्लेस्ड दिस म्यू हियर। तो म्यू का वैल्यू जो है यहाँ पे हमको समझना है, इट इज लाइक दिस, एंड यू रिलेटिव जो है, ये यू रिलेटिव का मतलब होता है कि द रिलेटिव वेलोसिटी बिफोर कोलिजन व्हिच इज ऑब्टेन्ड बाय सब्ट्रैक्टिंग u2 from u1, no doubt. And doesn't matter even if you just try to find out it as u2 minus u1 also, then also it's okay because just square is already there, square होने वाला उसका, तो स्क्वायर होने से वो u2 minus u1 करते हो या u1 minus u2 करते हो, इससे कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता है। The loss in kinetic energy is going to be the same in both of the cases, no doubt. So this is all about the formula for finding the loss in kinetic energy in case of elastic, inelastic, and perfectly inelastic collisions here. Let us consider a simple situation in which, see here, suppose that there is a ball. Yes. Okay, एक हमारे पास बॉल है मान लो, क्योंकि देखो कोएफिशिएंट ऑफ रेस्टिट्यूशन जो है इट इज डिफाइंड एज द v1 upon u1 minus u2, where v2 and v1 are the velocities of two colliding bodies after the collision, and u1 and u2 are the velocities of those two colliding bodies only but before the collision. Okay, that is we have to understand. If suppose one of the body is at rest, अगर इन दोनों बॉडीज में से अगर एक कोई भी एक बॉडी या 1 या 2 कोई भी एक बॉडी अगर रेस्ट में है तो क्या होगा? That means if suppose consider that v1 is going to be क्या, v2 is going to be 0 and u2 is also going to be 0. Second body is suppose at rest. So if we just consider that v2 is going to be 0 and u2 also is going to be 0. So even before and after collision, before also and after collision, तो एक बॉडी जो है वो पहले भी रेस्ट में था एंड बाद में भी रेस्ट में ही है, कोलिजन के पहले और कोलिजन के बाद दोनों तरफ वो रेस्ट में ही है सपोज। तो ऐसे केस में क्या होगा, उसका वेलोसिटी u2 भी 0 बनेगा और v2 भी 0 बनेगा। और ऐसे केस में ये जो फॉर्मूला है तो वो एक नया फॉर्म ले लेगा, और जो कि हम निकाल सकते हैं आराम से. दिस E will actually be equal to, simply if we just put this u0 here, then we can get u1 minus 0 in the denominator. So u1 minus 0, which is u1 only. But here if we just see, this v2 is to be put at 0, so that we can get this 0 minus v1 only, which means that the coefficient of restitution happens to be minus of v1 upon u1. Okay, now does it mean that the coefficient of restitution is negative in that case? No, not at all. The coefficient of restitution is not, never it is negative. Okay, but it is always positive. But what is the thing here is that if one of the bodies is at rest before and after collision, then suppose for example this is the body which is a wall only, wall suppose, जो कि यहाँ पे रेस्ट में है, बिफोर पहले भी रेस्ट में था और बाद में भी रेस्ट में है. तो ऐसे केस में क्या होगा, if suppose a ball just strikes the wall with the velocity u1 suppose, then after the collision the ball will just be moving in this opposite direction with a velocity v1, which may be negative actually. If u1 is considered as positive, then v1 can be considered as negative, and if u1 itself is negative, then v1 will be positive. That means u1 and v1 are of opposite signs. ये अगर पॉजिटिव है तो ये नेगेटिव होगा, और ये अगर नेगेटिव है तो ये पॉजिटिव होगा जरूर. तो इसकी वजह से हम ये बोल सकते हैं कि u1 upon v1 ये जो रेशियो है, this ratio is already going to be negative, and because of that negative ratio, this minus sign is appearing in front here outside the bracket, which will just cancel this negative sign of the ratio, and hence it will make the ratio positive actually. For example, if suppose we have a ball just like this, suppose हमारे पास एक बॉल है, मान लो ये बॉल है suppose, ठीक है, and suppose that it just is dropped from some height h1. ओके, इस बॉल को हमने यहाँ से h1 या h0 इतने हाइट से ड्रॉप कर दिया, ठीक है. So as soon as this ball is dropped from the height h1 and it just falls down, its speed goes on increasing, correct है. तो ये जो है, ये suppose height h0 है, h0 मतलब initial height from which the ball is dropped, and suppose that when this ball just strikes the ground, at that time its velocity will be something, okay, just before the collision its velocity may be something like, suppose यहाँ पे जब वो ball drop होता है, it is just about to hit the ground, at that time its velocity is suppose going to be in the downward direction, which is going to be considered as u1 here. Okay, ये u1 रहने वाला है, because it is the velocity just before the collision, and that's why it's considered as u1. But just after the collision ball will bounce up. ये जैसे ही बॉल यहाँ पे collision करता है तो उसके बाद वो bounce होगा, and after bouncing it will just start moving in the upward direction this case. So it will just start in the upward direction, and the after the collision of the ball can be considered as v1 here. v1, ये बॉल जो यहाँ पे कोलाइड हो गया और वहां से रिबाउंड हो गया इस तरह से, and now it is moving in the upward direction in this way with the velocity v1 here. So in this case अभी हो सकता है कि आगे जाके वो किसी ना किसी हाइट पे जाके फिर यहाँ पे पहुंच जाए. Suppose it rises up to the height h1 here. अगर यहाँ पे वो जाके h1 इतने हाइट पे जाके रुकता है, तो this height is suppose h1. Okay, so what is the relationship between h0 and h1 and u1 and v1 here? अभी u1 और v1 के बीच में जो रिलेशनशिप है वो तो हम आराम से निकाल सकते हैं. कोएफिशिएंट ऑफ रेस्टिट्यूशन का फॉर्मूला है. क्या है कोएफिशिएंट ऑफ रेस्टिट्यूशन का फॉर्मूला? माइनस ऑफ द वेलोसिटी ऑफ द फर्स्ट बॉडी आफ्टर कोलिजन अपॉन वेलोसिटी ऑफ द फर्स्ट बॉडी before the collision. That means v1 upon u1. But don't forget here that this, when before the collision the body was in the downward direction, and hence this u1 has to be considered as minus, negative here. ये u1 हमको negative consider करना पड़ेगा क्योंकि वो downward direction में travel कर रहा है. So if we just consider it as negative, then we can just be able to get minus u1 replaced here in the denominator, and no doubt plus v1 has to be replaced here in the numerator, so that the ratio actually becomes positive, and this minus minus sign gets cancelled, and we'll be left with E, that is coefficient of restitution, to be simply equal to v1 upon u1. That is the velocity just before the collision, sorry, velocity just after the collision upon velocity before the collision. But again, it's very difficult to find out the velocities just before and after the collision, because the ball is moving very fast. सो मूव करने के टाइम उस बॉल के अंदर तो कोई ऐसा स्पीडोमीटर वगैरह तो बिठाया नहीं है जो हमको वेलोसिटी निकालने आएगा उसका. But yes, we can just find out this velocity by using the conservation of energy and using this height h naught and the height up to which it rises up after the collision, that is h1. Because we already have proved in the kinematics that whenever a body just freely falls under gravity, its velocity attained by the body when it is it moves through a distance not in the downward direction is given by the formula u1 is equal to वो यहाँ पे रूट ऑफ, चलो इसको हम बेटर h नॉट के बदले h1 h2 से डिनोट कर सकते हैं, नो डाउट. इसको सपोज h1 बोल देते हैं, इसको h2 बोल सकते हैं. ओके, तो यहाँ पे फिर अभी क्या होगा रिकॉर्ड से कि u1 कैन बी रिटन टू बी सिंपली इक्वल टू रूट ऑफ 2gh1. समझा कैसे? Already we have proved that this whenever the velocity body is released from the height h1, then it attains the root 2gh1 when it falls through the distance h1. Okay, and body just starts with the velocity v1, and if it attains the height h2, then these two v1 and h2 is also related with the same equation, that is v1 is actually going to be root of 2gh2. Okay, and then if we just replace these values of v1 u1 and v1 here is formula, then we can be able to get the another formula for coefficient of, that is v1 upon u1 तो already हमारे पास है, but v1 has to be replaced by root of 2gh2, and this u1 has to be by root of 2gh1, so that we can just combine the root in the next step, and this 2gh2 upon 2gh1, and this 2g gets cancelled, and we'll be left with the very important formula for coefficient of restitution in this case, which is going to be root of h2 upon h1. Remember, so this is actually going to be the formula for coefficient of restitution in terms of the heights. Suppose a body is just dropped from a height 100 cm, and it's found that it just rises up to the height 4 centimeter only above the ground after collision. Can you find out the coefficient of restitution of this surface which it strikes up? जिसके साथ वो स्ट्राइक करता है, तो उसका सरफेस का coefficient of restitution कितना होगा निकाल सकते हैं आराम से. Just put it in the chat box fast. Here we can just consider that h1 is going to be 100, whereas h2 is supposed to be 64 centimeter. Both are going to be in centimeter only. Keep them in centimeter only. And try to find out the coefficient of restitution here in this case. How much it is? You can find out in the chat box. Yes. Yes, 8 by 10. That means it will be 0.8, correct? We can just find out here E is equal to root of 64 upon 100, correct? So that we can just have this as root of 64 by 100. अभी 64 का रूट क्या बनता है? It's 8, and 100 का रूट क्या बनता है? 10. So 8 by 10 मतलब ही वो 0.8 हो गया. So 0.8 is going to be the coefficient of restitution. That means it is obviously less than 1. It has to be. Okay, and it's always going to be, because H2 is going to be less than H1 always. बिकॉज जहां से हमने छोड़ा है उससे तो कम ही हाइट पे वो बॉल बाउंस करेगा कि नहीं, इसलिए क्योंकि हम इसको सिर्फ ड्रॉप कर रहे हैं, फेंक नहीं रहे, तो इसलिए जब तक हम फेंकते नहीं है तब तक क्या होगा कि जिस हाइट से हमने उसको थ्रो किया वो ज्यादा होगा, और जिस हाइट पे वो बाउंस अप करके वापस आता है वो कम होगा, और इसलिए ये रेशियो जो है, दिस रेशियो विल एक्चुअली बी लेस देन 1, and hence its root also will be less than 1, and that root of this H2 upon H1 will actually be the coefficient of restitution in this case here. But what will happen if this ball again just bounce in the downward direction and again returns back to the another height H, suppose again it goes down and bounce up with the height H3, suppose H4 suppose, and so on like that. If it continues to bounce up and down with the same surface, the coefficient of restitution is going to be the same every time, right? क्योंकि सरफेस सेम है, बॉल भी सेम है, तो इसलिए कोएफिशिएंट ऑफ रिस्टिट्यूशन हमेशा सेम रहेगा. फॉर एवरी कोलिजन द कोएफिशिएंट ऑफ रिस्टिट्यूशन विल बी द सेम, and we will be just able to predict at what height it will rise up after nth collision in general. Okay, that we'll do see in the next lecture, that is in the tomorrow's lecture. तो कल के लेक्चर में यही हम देखेंगे कि if suppose a ball is dropped from height h naught, then after n collisions what height it will just rise up to, we'll just see it in the next lecture. तो आज के लेक्चर में हमने लॉस इन काइनेटिक एनर्जी का जो फॉर्मूला है तो वो डिराइव किया, तो वो ठीक से प्रैक्टिस करो, थोड़ा सा हेवी फॉर्मूला है, उसका डेरिवेशन भी थोड़ा सा हेवी है, तो थोड़ा सा प्रैक्टिस करेंगे, 3-4 बार लिखेंगे तो वो आपको आ जाएगा अच्छी तरह से. और इवन हमने कोएफिशिएंट ऑफ रेस्टिट्यूशन का जो फॉर्मूला होता है वो भी हमने डिराइव किया for the situation in which one of the bodies is going to be at rest. If one of the bodies is at rest, then we can derive the formula for coefficient of restitution of that system just by taking the ratio of velocity after collision to the velocity before collision of the another body. जो मूव करने वाला बॉडी है, एक बॉडी तो रेस्ट में है, तो दूसरा जो बॉडी है जो उसके साथ स्ट्राइक करने वाला है उसका आफ्टर कोलिजन एंड बिफोर कोलिजन वाले वेलोसिटीज का रेशियो लेके हमको कोएफिशिएंट ऑफ रेस्टिट्यूशन मिल जाता है, ये हमको समझना है. एंड फॉरगेट अबाउट द माइनस साइन विल नेवर अपीयर देयर बिकॉज़ द वेलोसिटीज विल ऑलवेज बी ऑपोजिट इन डायरेक्शंस आफ्टर एंड बिफोर. बिकॉज़ ऑफ दैट माइनस साइन विल जस्ट गेट कैंसल्ड, एंड हेंस वी कैन बी एबल टू गेट द रेशियो ऑफ वेलोसिटीज आफ्टर टू बिफोर टू बी द कोएफिशिएंट ऑफ रेस्टिट्यूशन इन दैट केस. एंड that's all for about this lecture. Let us stop here and thank you all of you.